Okay, so today I would like to go over the difference between electroplating and electroforming. So I have both liquids now in the links below, but let me go over what the difference between the two are, and it all depends what hobby you're getting into. Electroplating, I'll start with that. Electroplating is adding the copper's plating to an object, but it adheres to the original object. In other words, metal bonds with metal, or conductive surface bonds with metal. So it preserves detail quite well. Electroplating would be used if you really want the detail to stand out. So here I have a 28 millimeter character, and you can see that even by zooming in, all the level of detail is there. There is no extra texture building up on any of the little points. This is because smoothing agents like a brightener, a leveler, and a carrier have been added to the solution. Down here in the rocks, you'll see that in the areas where it crept up onto the rocks, there is no extra dendrites. Except for this rock that had some conductive properties. Okay, so electroplating preserves that detail. If I wanted to do, let's say, this bear, I would not electroform it. I would electroplate it. Electroplating can get thick, but it takes a lot longer than electroformed copper. So, in this case, this was in a bath for like 3 days at a very low amperage to preserve that detail. So was this deer, which is also electroplated. If I wanted to do something like very organic, like a piece of tree bark, for example, I could do that and preserve the detail of the bark by electroplating it. But it would take a very long time to do it, because what would happen is you would want a really thick amount of copper on this so that the organic on the inside is preserved. So there are ways to mix the two worlds together, but I'll get into that here in a second. So that's electroplating, detail. Okay. Electroforming was not always called electroforming. It was electrotyping. And museums would use it a lot to build replicas of things. So they would take and make a mold. In this case, here's a 3D printed part. You can see the detail here. They would take a mold, and then they would put graphite powder in here, or a very fine copper dust, and then they would take and grow the copper on the inside of this. It would adhere to that graphite, and then it would come out to look like this. Even with that overhang. So it wouldn't matter too much about the texture, because it was all about getting a really thick plate. See how thick that is. Very sturdy. Okay. Same with this. This was something bought in China, and then I made a copy of it. Again, the inside doesn't really matter. The intention was this. So electrotyped copper can grow real thick. So electroformers grabbed onto it and started making jewelry, which was kind of cool because it got this cool texture. So if you mix the two ideas and add carriers, levelers, and brighteners to it, or maybe just brighteners, you get this type of copper. So, what you have to ask yourself is, what type of application are you using it for? Are you building cool artsy pieces? Or are you plating with high detail? You can mix the two worlds together. And this is what the fun part is. Let's say, for example, I get really rough copper that doesn't always look like this. Okay? Maybe it's way rougher than this. Well, I can always throw it in my plating tank and plate the last layers to be shiny. So, you can mix them. You can get all the texture when it comes down to the electroforming, and then have a separate tank called the electroplating tank, or high throw tank, for the details. Another thing is, if you wanted to get something very absurd, like the level of detail in this tansy leaf, okay? So that is electroplating. And all I did was electroplate this very quickly and then took it out of the mix for later composition work. Now it's sealed, it's never going to lose its shape, and I can use it later on in any kind of art piece and grow thicker copper on there if need be. So you don't have to plate the whole entire thing, you can just plate like a little bit of it, just for preservation. Cool. So those are the two different worlds, electroplating and electroforming. Again, it's all about the makeup of the solution. One has higher amounts of copper, lower amounts of acid. Okay, that's electroforming. Electroplating has high acid, low copper. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed the little video. Down there, link below, is the link to both formulas. You could choose whatever route you want to take, or both. Doesn't really matter. But I hope that helps you in your newfound hobby. Have a good one. One of the other things I'd like to mention is, in case you're using this for not any of this, if you are using, let's say you're making circuit boards, okay? Circuit boards are electroplating, especially the formula that I have. It's a high throw electroplating. So in other words, if you got those little holes, okay, those are called through holes, and it will be able to plate the through hole part of it. So basically the copper creeps down into the hole, or you try to get a conductive fluid down in there like graphite and India ink, and that allows it to get down into the little tiny hole. So if you are using any of these formulas for circuit boards, you will want to use the electroplating one. Alright, so thought I'd add that just in case.